What if the reason you can't focus isn't because you lack freedom, but because you have too much of it? What if unlimited choices are quietly killing your creativity instead of helping it? And before we go any further, ask yourself this: do you struggle to stay focused even when you have all the time in the world? If you want to understand how your brain actually works under pressure and how to use that to your advantage, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because we break down psychology that helps you think and work better in the real world. Most people believe freedom leads to creativity. More time, more options, more tools, more resources. On the surface, that sounds logical. But psychology tells a very different story. In reality, the human brain performs best under limits. Too much freedom overwhelms the mind. Too many choices drain focus. And too many options quietly push us toward procrastination. This idea is known as productive constraints, the concept that intentional limits can actually increase focus, creativity, and performance. Constraints don't restrict your potential. They shape it. They give your brain boundaries to work within, and inside those boundaries, clarity begins to form. Think about it. When you have an entire day free, how productive are you really? Many people waste more time on open days than on busy ones. Why? Because when time feels unlimited, urgency disappears. The brain relaxes. Focus dissolves. And suddenly, everything feels optional. But when time is limited, attention sharpens. Decisions become clearer. Action feels necessary. The brain hates ambiguity. When everything is possible, nothing feels urgent. This is why having endless tools, unlimited content, and constant access to entertainment often leads to paralysis instead of progress. The brain gets stuck deciding rather than doing. Let me ask you something honestly: how often do you delay starting because you're trying to find the perfect way to begin? This is why constraints work. They remove unnecessary decisions. They reduce cognitive load. When the brain has fewer options, it stops wandering and starts committing. Creativity doesn't come from infinite possibilities, it comes from problem solving within limits. Some of the most creative work in history was produced under extreme constraints. Writers with strict word limits. Filmmakers with tiny budgets. Entrepreneurs with no resources. When people don't have everything, they're forced to think differently. They become resourceful, focused, intentional. Scarcity sharpens the mind. Now look at modern life. Unlimited scrolling. Unlimited content. Unlimited information. Unlimited distractions. And yet, focus is at an all-time low. Creativity feels harder. Deep work feels exhausting. This isn't because we've become weaker, it's because our environment has removed all natural constraints. Without limits, the brain never switches into problem-solving mode. It stays in consumption mode. Watching. Scrolling. Absorbing. But never creating. Never finishing. Never committing. Productive constraints force your brain to engage. They create friction, and friction is not the enemy of progress. Friction is what forces attention. It's what makes you think before acting. And it's what separates intentional work from mindless activity. Here's a powerful example. When you limit your work time to a fixed block, say 60 or 90 minutes, your brain automatically prioritizes. It cuts out unnecessary perfectionism. It focuses on what matters most. But when you give yourself the entire day, your brain delays, overthinks, and drags simple tasks into endless processes. The same applies to creativity. When you limit your tools, your brain compensates with imagination. When you limit your options, your brain finds new pathways. Constraints don't kill creativity, they give it direction. Now pause for a moment and reflect: where in your life do you have too much freedom and not enough structure? Midway check: have you subscribed or not? If you're still watching, you're already engaging with ideas most people never think about. Subscribing helps you stay connected to content that challenges how you work, think, and create. Let's talk about focus. Focus is not about forcing concentration. It's about removing escape routes. When your environment allows constant switching, your brain takes it. Every notification, every open tab, every option to do it later weakens attention. But when you create constraints, no phone, one task, limited time, the brain adapts quickly. This is why deadlines work. Not because pressure is magical, but because deadlines remove ambiguity. They give the brain a clear target. Without a target, attention scatters. With one, it aligns. Constraints also protect you from burnout. When work has no boundaries, it never ends. The brain never fully rests. But when you define clear limits, when work starts and ends, your mind recovers faster. Rest becomes deeper. Focus becomes stronger. Even creativity needs boundaries to survive. When everything is allowed, nothing feels meaningful. But when you work within limits, every decision matters. Every choice has weight. And meaning grows from that weight. The key is intentional constraint, not restriction imposed by fear, but limits chosen on purpose. Limiting work hours. Limiting distractions. Limiting scope. Limiting tools. These are not weaknesses. They are strategies. Instead of asking, how can I do more, ask a better question, what can I remove? Because subtraction often creates more clarity than addition. Try this experiment. Limit your daily work to a fixed time. Choose one primary task. Remove one major distraction. And see what happens. Most people are shocked by how much they accomplish, not because they work longer, but because they work sharper. The truth is, the brain thrives when it knows the rules of the game. Constraints define those rules. And once the rules are clear, creativity stops wandering and starts building. So if you feel overwhelmed, unfocused, or creatively blocked, the answer may not be more freedom. It may be better limits. The right constraints don't trap you, they guide you. Let me leave you with this question: what would change in your life if you stopped trying to keep every option open and instead committed to fewer, clearer boundaries? If this video helped you see productivity differently, subscribe to the channel for more psychology-based insights. Like the video, share it with someone who feels overwhelmed by too many choices, and comment below, what is one constraint you could add today to improve your focus or creativity? Because freedom doesn't come from having no limits. It comes from choosing the right ones.